So, I want to start this video off talking about my friend Miguel. And so, Miguel is one of those guys who just did everything right. He was always in the gym consistently, he was working those long hours, he was making progress in his life. I actually met him because he was a pretty good guitar player and that we got along pretty well in a band setting, so we started playing together more. I started meeting with him more. And so I really liked this guy. I knew he wasn't a perfect person, but I knew he had a lot of momentum and that if he kept pushing what he was already doing with his life, he would be very successful. You could you could almost tell that he was just building something. And then Miguel met a girl, and almost overnight everything changed. He stopped going to the gym, he stopped showing up the same way to band practice, and he stopped talking about all those goals that he always talked about before. He was always tired, he was always distracted, he was always on his phone, he was watching movies with her and texting her nonstop. It came to the point in the band practice where we would have to be like telling him over and over again to come record this because the second we let him off the hook, he would go freaking talk to that girl again. Like, it was crazy. Imagine you're in the middle of a moment, in the middle of your youth. You're spending you're making guitar, you're making songs for the band, you're building a legacy, and then you're just spending the whole time talking with the same girl over and over again on the phone. It's just not very attractive. It was like he became a zombie. And the most wild part is that it wasn't even a long term relationship. He was doing all that for a girl he had just met. One date, a little attention, and his entire life just collapsed. And let's be honest here, most guys don't lose that girl by saying the wrong thing. They don't lose her by messing up the date. They lose her by doing something that feels loving but quietly kills attraction. And that is, they make her the center of their life. At first, it looks like effort. You're being attentive, you're being available, you're being the superstar guy. Like, you're trying to show her that you're the one that's gonna sweep her off her feet. You're trying to show her by showing up, being available all the time. And you tell yourself this is what showing up looks like. But something shifts, and it's something that shifts within her when you do all this. You can feel it before you can even explain it. The replies slow down, the plans feel uncertain, and her energy just becomes way different than before. And you're stuck asking yourself every single time, what did I do wrong? I've been on both sides of this. There was a point in my life where I genuinely believed making a girl the center of my world was the most mature thing to do. I canceled plans, I stayed glued to my phone, and I let my mood depend on her attention 24/7. If she was distant, I felt anxious. If she pulled back, I chased clarity. And I didn't even notice that my essence, was just slowly disappearing. And what's ironic is that when things first started with this girl, I actually had my own life. I was training, I had school, I had goals, and that's when that interest was there. But the more I centered my life around her, the less grounded in myself I became. And the less grounded I was, the less attractive I felt, even to myself. I remember thinking, if I just show her how much I care, she'll feel secure with me. She won't want to leave me. She won't want to be with somebody else. And that's where all that insecurity comes from. And that's what actually kills the attraction, is that mindset. And she felt all that pressure I was emitting to her based on my actions. Not because she was a bad person, not because I was asking her to be the emotional center of my life. That's not romantic. That's heavy. And that's when it clicked. It wasn't that it wasn't enough. It was that I didn't have enough going on in my life. The moment I made her my center, I lost my center. And it's not just Miguel. I've seen this happen to so many guys who are improving their bodies, guys who are learning instruments, guys who are working super hard jobs, guys who are working businesses. They all had momentum, they all had direction. Then a girl shows up and everything just stops. They just start skipping the gym, they stop pushing themselves, and they won't stop texting. One date, one hit of validation, and their life just folds in on itself. This isn't even about the woman they're talking to. If anything, she's the least important part. This is about the men who are abandoning their own center. And here's how I understand it now. Men tend to go out into the world and attach themselves to something. They attach themselves to their work, their training, their craft, a goal, almost like cement. You pick something solid and you build yourself around it. That gives you the weight in the world. That gives you direction. It gives you confidence. And the number one thing this this object can't be is a woman. You cannot attach yourself to a woman. A woman should be like the cherry on top of your life. She should be the person making your life like just a little better. You know, like it's like the sprinkles on a milkshake or the sprinkles on a cupcake. Like, you know, it just adds to the mix. Because women need someone who's consistent inside their own world, someone who's already steady, someone who's grounded, and someone who just doesn't disappear the moment's emotions show up. And by disappearing, I don't mean going away, I mean losing yourself. When a man tries to attach himself to a woman the same way he should be attached to his purpose, everything flips. She's the one that feels the weight. He's the one that loses the footing. And the attraction starts to die because it just doesn't work that way. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Women don't lose interest because you care. They lose interest when your life starts orbiting around them, when your mood depends on them, when your plans depend on them, when your sense of purpose depends on them. That doesn't feel loving. It just feels super unstable. Attraction usually starts when two full lives cross paths. Two people with momentum, two people who are choosing each other. But when one person drops everything to focus on the other, pressure gets replaced with polarity. You just start waiting for these texts, waiting for plans, waiting for reassurance. Your life just becomes super reactive. She becomes the big highlight, and that's the fastest way to lose your interest. This is why reassurance never works. This is why overcommunication never works. The issue isn't clarity, it's structure. When your life has structure, your presence feels grounded. When your life has direction, your attention feels valuable. When your life has all this momentum and desire and power, your interest feels optional and not desperate. That is really attractive. A girl wants to feel like you are choosing her over other people. She wants to feel like she is special. That's the true way to make her feel special right there, is to be that guy. So I saw this in myself, once I committed to harder things, training consistently, showing up for myself, building things that actually mattered, everything in my life changed. Not because I tried to act confident, but because my life just stopped collapsing over one girl. And here's the part that matters most. Really, I said this before. Women do not want to be the center of your life. They want to join a life that's already moving. I care about the girl. I care about the girls in my life. I'm present. I don't disappear. Because that's the fastest way to lose her isn't messing up, it's losing yourself. And the fast way to become attractive again isn't chasing, it's rebuilding who you are, it's building yourself, it's rebuilding your center. So whatever you're building, your body, your craft, your work, your future, keep building it and don't forget who you are.